We are going to talk about the new movie Trap. It's in theaters now. It stars Josh Hartnett, Ariel Donahue, Selika Shyamalan, Haley Mills, and Allison Pill. It's directed by M. Night Shyamalan. Now, we're not going to talk about spoilers. This is a spoiler-free review. If I do any spoilers, it'll be at the very, very end, and I'll give you guys fair warning, I promise. I did a reaction to a trailer of this a couple months ago, and I was pretty intrigued. It looked fun. It wasn't like I certainly didn't think it was going to be the best movie of the year or anything like that, but it looked fun. And a lot of my coworkers got a chance to see it before I did, and seeing reviews. I've been really busy. I just didn't get a chance to get to watch it until recently, and a lot of people seemed like they didn't like it. Nobody certainly loved it. I didn't hear anyone saying they loved it. I mostly heard it was okay, or it was really bad, or don't watch it. And when people say don't watch it, that sometimes it makes me want to watch it more. I'm just weird like that, but I also like to watch everything and try to keep up with what's coming out and be a part of that conversation. I love talking about movies and stuff. So I think a few people had told me before seeing the movie that there was a weird connection with the singer who's in the film, and finding out that it was actually the daughter of director and creator writer M. Night Shyamalan. And it seemed to bother a lot of people, and I took it into consideration before going into the film. I was very interested in the concept of this sort of serial killer being trapped at a concert, like a Taylor Swift like concert, and that interest still held for me, despite all the bad reviews I heard or negative stuff I heard, and still went in excited, but having realistic expectations, because the trailer shows you kind of what you get. That's kind of how I felt when I first watched the trailer, and I knew enough. It tells you exactly what it's going to be, and that's kind of what a little thriller film should do. And it's supposed to be like a thrill ride. I treat them like roller coasters, and I certainly appreciate when there are those types of films every once in a while. Sure, I don't want to go on those types of movies every single day, but every once in a while, I'm not a fan of roller coasters, so I like having these films as my roller coasters every once in a while. So I actually really enjoyed the movie, and I think I came out of it feeling the same way I thought I would going in. And if you really want to see like my reaction to the movie, I think the closest thing you'll get is seeing me watch the trailer for the first time, which is on my channel. But that gives you a good sense of like my initial reaction to the story and some of those exciting moments you see in the trailer and stuff. But I think that's kind of how I felt. The same, it wasn't like, okay, I went in expecting something and I got exactly what I expected, and I was able to have fun. I'm a fan of Josh Hartnett. I like his work. I first saw him in Black Hawk Down, and then I don't know, for some reason I remember him being in one of the Sin City movies, and 30 Days a Night, that like vampire film in the snow, was cool. And he's been in a few other things. I think he was most recently in Oppenheimer, but everybody was in Oppenheimer. But I wasn't familiar with the other actors too well. One of my coworkers did point out that the actress from the original Parent Trap is in this film, and she I can't. She couldn't help but point out, like, is this like, was that a, what is that on purpose? Like casting somebody from The Parent Trap in Trap, because this is quite literally a parent trap in a way. Um, I thought that was a funny connection, but very very cool, and they did a good job in the film. But I am a fan of M Night Shyamalan. I'm not obsessed with his work, but I think I certainly appreciate Signs and Sixth Sense. You know, his earlier stuff more than his new. Um, Unbreakable is good, but I haven't really kept up with the whole. I didn't watch the last part of that trilogy, um, or quadrilogy, or however many there are. But I appreciate him, and this one definitely jumped out to me more than his past few films have. So I another connection that I made that's not spoiler related is if you're a fan of Dexter, which I am. I'm a huge fan. That's my favorite show of all time, and I'm very excited for the new shows that are coming. I did some videos on the trailer and Dexter Resurrection. We already covered that. If you guys want to check that out, but I saw this film kind of like a season finale of Dexter, and on the big screen. It would be like if Dexter was trapped at a concert with one of his kids. And that's, I don't know, that's kind of the whole time watching it, I kept, it was just couldn't help but compare it to Dexter, which made it more fun for me. I'm certainly not rooting for this guy the way I'm rooting for Dexter. This guy is clearly fucking crazy and psychotic and extremely murderous and has no, not that Dexter is not extremely murderous, but Dexter does kill criminals and bad guys for, but I still really enjoyed this. I think Josh Hartnett did a great job, but it wasn't perfect. It had a couple silly things, or I was like, I don't really buy that too much. But at the same time, it's like a fun B movie in a way, a nice little thrill ride. I don't know. It's just like a fun little short roller coaster ride. It's not even a long movie. It's fun. And if you're looking for something like that, I do recommend it. Just don't go in with crazy expectations. And the thing I mentioned before about the daughter being in the film, I realize a lot of people had issues with that. I didn't have a problem with it. That's all I'll say. It didn't bother me when I was watching the movie, but his daughter was actually a pretty decent actress, and I thought she did a good job. Having never seen her before in anything else, and her being in like a scene with Josh Hartnett, who's an actor I'm familiar with, and I know who can act, obviously. Seeing her kind of keep up with him was good. I wasn't taken out of the scene or anything like that. So she did a good job. Maybe if she did a really bad job, I would have noticed it more or had an issue with it. But I enjoyed her character and her music, so I didn't run into that as an issue for me personally. I do want to ask you guys though, or I kind of want to ask some of the people that were saying that, like, if it was like a different famous musician artist, would that have been better? Would it have been better if it was Taylor Swift? What if it was actually Taylor Swift, or would that have been worse? Or if it was somebody who does it have to be an unknown person? Or either way, I feel like M Night Shyamalan's going to cast whoever he feels connected with and wants to do a movie with. It's, if I was making this movie, and sure, it'd be fun to reach out to Taylor Swift and be like, hey, You want to make this kind of like what if? It might be too real for her. You know, I that if I was Taylor Swift, I'd be like, ugh, I don't know, I don't know. But if I didn't go the Taylor Swift route, I'd be like, hey, who do I know that does music that I could use in my like? It's almost treated like an indie film, maybe. This is kind of something I'd expect in like a. I mean, it is a small movie, but also it's got it's got some good marketing. It's getting out there in the world. You know, this is a Warner Brothers movie. But I'm curious to hear what people think. Did you guys run into this as an issue, or do you think you will run into this as an issue? Again, I did not. I would just like to hear what you guys think would have been better. What should M Night Shyamalan have done instead? Should he have cast like an unknown person that nobody knew that his casting agent found, or like how did again like how do you find an unknown and like without like having some sort of bias connection to them in a way as a filmmaker, as someone who's telling this story, you're gonna find what fits your movie, and I don't know. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. And again, I think she did a good job. But again, that's just me. Let me know what you guys thought down below of Trap, or if you guys are going to be watching it. I don't think I need to dive into any spoilers. I was pleased. It was fun. I didn't have any crazy issues with it, but again, I'm not really holding it to that high of a bar, if that makes sense. Um, Again, big Dexter fan, reminded me of that. I'm getting excited for Dexter, but no, it was a cool idea, and they lived up to that idea. I think it they did a good job. So yeah, no, I had fun. I had more fun than I think most people did. But hey, that's just me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry I got a little repetitive at the end, but I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.